Hi, and thank you for taking the time to watch. I just want to show you a little bit about the way my mind works when trading and how to give you some insight as to what I will be teaching in my course on how I trade. So I want to show you how this day I had a good idea it was going to go up, and then more precisely, and especially on a day like this where it is choppy, where you can really find very extremely precise entry points that will consistently give you 100% return on your investment, risking very little. Because if the move doesn't work, you get out right away. So I want to show you how this works. So this was the 25th. I do my plays based on order flows that come into the market maker the night before. So on the 22nd here, rather than going into all the details at this point, I'm just going to show you the levels that I had from the orders that came in here. We had an order at 57197, so I'll make a line here at 57197. And then we had another order that came in at 57208. So those two levels actually, what you'll learn with me is the red one here becomes a manipulation level that will get used to manipulate the direction of the price, whereas the other level here was an order that needed to be filled. Okay, so going in, this section right here that is light blue, it's pre-market. So the day is not opened yet, and you're looking at this. And from what I teach you, you'll know, okay, we have a price target in this range. Like we anticipate the stock moving into this area because of the orders that came in below. But then I start to fine tune entries and exits, okay? Things that I teach you to look for and look at are in the after hours, which is this other dark blue section, the high that it obtained, which is right here, okay? So we're looking at some distance of going upwards. And we see that the day before it traded above this level, so there is a possibility that it could pop above there again today. But we want to look, if we want to go upside to this line, we want to find the low, like the absolute bottom. Because if you can find the absolute bottom, then you are getting in. And if you've done it right, you don't, the trade doesn't move against you even at all. And this is how I figured out how to do that. Next thing I'm going to do is find the low of the pre-market, which is right here, before 8 a.m. Okay, and why before 8 a.m.? Because at 8 a.m., retail traders have access to their accounts. So the market maker has already started to play with people's accounts at this levels. So I want to see how the stock is responding to that level. Earlier, it came in at wicked right up, so I would anticipate it should come down and wick right back up again, but it didn't. So to me, it's getting very heavy. It's getting this is becoming a weak level. So I anticipate at market open, it's going to go down before we go up, okay? Why do I think it might go down? Again, because I just said, because it's looking very weak here, and you'll learn to recognize what looks weak and what looks strong. And then up here we have this price target. So again, I'm still anticipating to look for an upside move on this. So then what I'll do is at 6 a.m. there are breadcrumbs, there are hints that come in as to what's going to happen. And I'm going to mark the 6 a.m. level in purple. So here at 6 a.m., there's no volume, but we have a level right here, and you'll see that this level will come into play during the day. So I'll leave that, and then the last thing that I'll do is I'll mark with blue the level that the market maker is playing with the public. So from 8 a.m. until market open. So at 8 a.m., he established a level all the way up here. And right now our level is right at the low of pre-market, okay? Well, this wick here, you'll learn, gives you so many clues. The fact that this 6 a.m. level here marked in purple, when the market opened to the public at 8, it wicked above there. So that supports that we are going to get price action to the upside, okay? So essentially at 8 a.m., price went up to this level, and then somebody sold those shares off. So if somebody sold all those shares off, that means the market maker is holding a bunch of shares at this level and needs to sell them off to the public. So again, we have all the reasons to believe this stock is going to be going up. But again, we need to find the precise entry then on where to get in. Okay, this this wick is where I go to next. You will find that when you get a large wick like this, you'll oftentimes get the same length to the downside. So all I do is I take a calculation here, 571.55, and I go down to the bottom of just the wick, and that distance was $1.19. So then let's take this level of 57359, 57359, and I'm going to take away from that $1.19, and I get 56916. So then my theory becomes they're going to drop the stock down to 56916, make a level right there, and at that point that should be our low, and then we'll make it up to, you know, likely this upper level, but at least to these lines, because that's what we have for sure. But, and you'll see, look, it went straight up there. So what you'll learn then is why and when to use these different calculations to find your entry points. And as you can see, again, this purple line, the 6 a.m. order, does become a level that the market gets played to. It comes back down there at the end of the day. The pre-market high of this wick is a level. So you also not only learn where to get in and where to get out, but you learn what to expect at these different levels. So when you're in a contract and the price is moving up and down and up and down, you don't have to worry that you're at risk of losing everything or, you know, having the trade suddenly turn against you. Like, you learn to read what is going to go on at each level so that you can calmly get in at a low, let it do its thing below, and, you know, get out at your appropriate price target. And I even encourage initially when people are starting to learn, I'll help teach you these low prices, and you'll set a sell for 100% return. And that way you're able to lock in profits initially while you watch and learn how the market moves, and work your way up to these other moves that make 400%, 500, sometimes 1,000, 2,000%. But you'll do it, you'll learn in a way that you're locking in profits initially, and then learning to scale into some more of these trades to expand, you know, your profits. Or if you just like the idea of coming in, you know, what a great day. These moves that we learn to predict are at market open. So you come in and you've got an hour, you know, of your time dedicated to making 100% return on the money that you invest. Is a fabulous addition to whatever lifestyle you're living. And these are the things that I'll teach you. I don't teach you indicators. I don't teach you, I mean, we can go over all these. They're all things that I use, but I've left out of my trading once I realized more precisely the purpose of the market each and every day. So I look forward to working with you if you decide that this is something that you want to add to your knowledge, and we'll keep in touch.